All right, hi Trojans. So I'm going to go over how to set up your gradebook in Google Classroom. Most of the time we just don't pay attention to the gradebook because we have Synergy, but we definitely need it. This is probably, I think, the easiest way to do our grades for winter intersession. So with that, I'm just using period 1 as an example. So I'm going to go up to this little cogwheel up here and click on it. And all of our class settings are here. So I'm going to scroll down to where it says Gradebook. And here, most of the time I just turn this off. So my students don't really see it. I don't really pay that close attention to it. I do use the Gradebook to check for any work that's been turned in, past the due date. But for the most part, I ignore it. But for this, I want to turn this on. So you can do it by total points or you can weight by category. So it's totally up to you on how you want to do this. I'm going to click on weight by category. And then you can show grade to overall students, make that sure that's turned on so that they can see it as well. And here I have some grading categories that are already set up, but you can add in more grading categories or delete the ones that you don't need anymore. So I don't need this wicker because I separated the standards. I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to add grading category here. So let's see, I also have speaking and listening. And then the other one is language. And so now I'm just going to make this equal 100. So I'm going to put 25% here. The other ones that I'm not going to use for this class, I'm just skipping over, and that's perfectly okay. I can also delete them, but I'm lazy. I don't want to delete them all. So I'm just going to skip over them and then click Save. Now to see my grades, I can go up to the gradebook at any time, the grades up here, and I can see their grades and I can see their overall grade over on this left-hand side once it loads. Now the gradebook is really nice to look at when you have students that have turned in something, for when you can kind of see the average score of students at the top here. And then it's being a little slow there. See the assignments that have been turned out or not. And the thing that's nice is if they turn in something late, this missing will then go back to it hasn't been graded. So at a glance, you can easily look at to see what hasn't been graded or what has been turned in from a student, and look at it that way too. So for example, if I wanted to look at Harry's e-portfolio that he submitted, I can just click on these 3 dots here and click on either, if I know his grade, I can just return it directly to him, or I can just click on view submission. So this is a really great way to kind of look at that and be able to have his grades there too. Same thing as if I'm doing an Edpuzzle video or something that is going off of Google Classroom and it won't automatically input the scores. I can just grade here like I normally would. So let's say I'm grading an Edpuzzle, she gets pretty much everybody gets a 4. I can just kind of go down and give them the grades that they get. So that's just one really easy way to have grades. Now, the reason it doesn't say no grade right now is because I'm doing it by categories. And for this class, I did not set up those categories when I assigned the assignments. So one thing to make sure that you do when you do assign an assignment in Google Classroom, go ahead and go to classwork. And then when you click on your assignment to create it, click on assignment. And when you click on that assignment, there's going to be an option to put in your topic, to put in your category. So make sure you do that so that it actually goes and it will grade your assignments accordingly. So if I click on by topic, then, topics for your classroom, your category is up here next to points. So make sure that you give it the correct category if you're doing it by weight, so that those grades appear in the gradebook. All right, to add on to that, I'm going to show how to download your grade once you have it in so that you can send it off to admin or to secretaries or just for your own records. And then you can, if you prefer working in Google Sheets or something like that with your gradebook, you can also have it there as well. So if I'm just going to pick on period 2 as my example, click on classwork, and then any assignment, you do have to have at least one assignment in order to do this. So I'm going to click on this focus notes and then click on view assignment. From there, I'm going to click back onto my cogwheel And now I have the option to copy all grades to Google Sheets, download all grades as CSV, and download these grades. So if you just want it for this particular assignment, you can download these particular grades as a CSV. This might be helpful just as a side note. This might be helpful if you were like downloading these grades and wanted to put them into like Synergy, or when we had our old grading program, I used to do that to upload grades into our Gradebook. But for our purposes, you want to stick with these two. So I'm going to copy all grades to Google Sheets. And one thing you'll want to note is that this sheet is particular to the day that you download it. So it says like February 2nd up here. So as I added more assignments, it's not going to auto-populate the sheet. You'll have to do this for each one. So this one is really good for like at the end, or for like when you need those like midpoint checks or whatever, where we need to send grades to somewhere, or just for your own records. I wouldn't necessarily like use this as a gradebook, but you could if you wanted to like manually add in assignments for this one. The only thing is that students won't be able to see the sheet, of course, and you shouldn't share it with students because it has everybody's information on it. So the best way for students to see their grades is still to use the Google Classroom Gradebook, and then they can see their own grades with that. But once I'm in the sheet, I can see their grade on the side here. I can see the assignments that have been graded. I have a lot of like practice assignments or assignments that aren't for grade. And so when I don't, it's ungraded or doesn't have points attached to it, it shows that here. But I can see all of their grades, and I can see like the missing assignments and everything that's kind of went there by the blanks that are included in here. So again, this is really great when we need to download it, or if you want it for your own records and to have this. You can also download it then further. So if you want to go to File, you can download this as a PDF or go into Excel spreadsheet, however you want to do it. You can also kind of email this directly. So you can email this file directly to whoever you need, whoever needs it and needs access to it. So that's just one way to do it. So like I said, I saved this for the end. So I'm personally just going to use the Google Classroom Gradebook. And then at the end or the midpoints, whenever Mr. Lopez asks for grades, then I'll go back in here and I'll download it. And then I also like to save this for my own records as well. So that is your how to get your grades off of Google Classroom and into a Google Sheet or someplace else. All right, if you have any questions about grades, please reach out to me and let me know. I'm happy to help. Just let me know. All right, have a great day.